Hey everybody, it's Norm from Tested.com.
And Frank from Tested.
And we are back with another episode of Shop Tips here at Frank Ippolito's shop. We got nothing on the table today.
No.
Nothing at all. And that's the point. One of the things you do in your shop is you have work tables.
Yeah.
And you cover them up with paper.
Yeah, this helps keep the surfaces a little bit longer and helps reset the surface in between projects. This isn't the messiest table that I've had, but sometimes when I'm doing epoxy molds or resin castings, there ends up being resin or plastic all over this thing. And I want to clean it up because I like to keep a clean shop. So a super basic thing is papering your table.
Papering your table. And I imagine a lot of people, everyone has their own way of papering their table, from having the roll on the edge of the table and like a doctor's office and pulling it over, and you actually tape all the edges.
I tape all sides so that way you're not getting stuff underneath and you're not ripping it. It just makes it nicer and cleaner and easier. All
right, well, let's demonstrate that for you guys out there. Step one, Frank, you gotta get rid of the old paper.
Rip it off. So this table is about 5 years old, so you can see how beat up it already is.
I mean, you don't care that much about the surface or beating up the surface, but you don't want all that residue on there.
Well, I don't want this to become an unusable, non-flat surface, so it's nice to cover it up. And if I know I'm going to be doing a lot of resin castings, I'll actually put a plastic bag down first.
Oh, because it'll seep through.
Yeah, take a big giant plastic garbage bag and tape that down. But the easy way is paper.
You have a pretty giant roll of paper back there. Where do you usually get your paper?
I think I order this through Uline. There's also a paper distributor up the street. I think I've picked it up from, it doesn't really matter. I get the heaviest weight that I can. Also at Home Depot, they have this like roofing paper. It's kind of a reddish brown color. That stuff's great, but the problem is that it's not 48 inches wide. And most of my tables are 48 inches wide. Whether it's these little short guys or the long ones, then I end up having to put two pieces to cover a big table.
And that's something you can also consider if you're building your own tables.
Yeah, what size paper you have.
What size paper.
If you just want to get the stuff at Home Depot, which is great, it's really heavy paper, build your tables a little narrower so you're just doing one strip. When we were working at Tippett Studio on Star Wars, they had narrow tables, and I changed them out from using 48-inch wide paper to the Home Depot stuff, and they saved a lot of paper.
Awesome. All right, next step.
Tape. Regular masking tape.
Yep. And you got the ultra wide.
Yeah, I almost always buy the 2-inch wide. I can't remember the last time I've needed the thin stuff. So what you want to do is, since when these things rip off, sometimes it's crooked, start with your straight side and just tack it on in the corners. And when you do that, you want to make sure to pull it tight so that way there's not big wrinkles in the middle of it. And then this edge is hanging over. So if you just do this, you can tuck it back underneath. And then it's a straight line.
Frank, is it as simple as that?
That's it. It's silly, it's simple. I've seen people take way too long to do this simple little job. You just tack it on, tape the edges, move on, and you have a nice clean work surface. I love having a clean shop, an organized shop, and part of that is cleaning up your table in between projects.
Now you also mentioned you could put a garbage bag underneath here. Is there any specific way you want to cut that up so it lays out?
I do it the exact same way. I'll just lay it over there, tape the corners, that's it, and then put a piece of paper on top of it. And also with this paper, millions of times I've had people over here and we just start drawing and plotting out ideas or designing things. I have a whole bunch of these table papers saved in my office of drawings that people have done and concepts and designs. So this is also a great drawing surface.
Also, if you have a party, you can just have a box of crayons out.
That's what I do at my birthday party.
Ah, a little bit inside from Frank's shop. Well, that's a cool tip. I hope you guys found it useful. We'd love to hear your tips as well, whether you're working on a small shop, a big shop, a garage. Please post them in the comments below, and we'll be back in the future with more tips from Frank's shop. Until then, I'm Norm.
Frank.
See you next time.